Welcome back to another episode of the Success Times Happiness podcast. I'm your host, Richard Thompson. Today I'm joined by Arek Rejman, the Sunshine Coast leading AI thought leader and founder of AI Compass. From hacking Commodore Amigas in Poland to masters in computer image analysis, Arek's journey is anything but ordinary. In this episode, you'll learn how AI can become your business's greatest advantage and what the next few years might really look like. Whether you're an AI curious human, a business owner, or worried about the robots, this conversation is for you. All right, let's get into it. Arek Rejman, welcome to the show.
Hello, nice to be here. Thank you for the invitation.
Now, you are what I would say, the thought leader on all things AI, certainly on the Sunshine Coast. So it's a pleasure to have you here. But before we get into it, I want to sort of understand where this human from Poland, educated, you've got masters in computer image analysis, you started your PhD in machine learning, probably back before anyone thought of what machine learning was about. From Poland, decide to move to Australia. Tell me about your upbringing and what made you leave home to come here.
The story with IT and fascination of computers was started much earlier than that you mentioned, because the roots was in Polish demo scene around small computers called Commodore Amiga. I was part of this kind of hacking group that prepared those demos, etc. So I was a graphic designer, web designer. That's where the fascination starts up, even before the main wave.
Yeah.
But then I steered towards two streams in my life. So the one part was uni, and the second part was always creating content, creating graphics, creating animations, this kind of stuff. So then you will understand later why that works that way. So that's why I mentioned this. In regards, what was the kicker for us? Because I moved together with my wife from Poland. We decided that the conditions, the stress level of running business in Poland, living in Poland, are a little bit too high. We really would like to enjoy more the better side of life, better climate, meet new people, see new places, not just, okay, let's go with the pre-planned path and just go whatever is doing in Poland. So we decide, why not? So for us was three choices, and this was three countries: US, Canada, or Australia. Australia won on many places in regards to climate and friendliness of people. So aside of Canada, but Canada's winter was quite
Very cold.
a big no for us. So
It'd be similar to Poland, no?
yeah, even harsher sometimes.
Okay.
So Poland can be harsh, but Canada is on the different level.
Yeah.
Depends where you are in Canada.
Sure, of course.
So that's the backstory, and we are looking for the countries that are pretty well developed, have that high tech that we can quickly accommodate to environment. So that's Australia popped up. The process was quite lengthy because to came into skill independent visa and collect all that stuff that is needed. It took us around 1 year.
Right.
So this was mostly on my wife recognition, because if we restarted also with mine, we took probably 2 years, because she's an accountant, so she have this shorter path. Me as the engineer was quite longer. So that's what was behind.
Yeah.
But finally we made it. So we started again here from the scratch, building life in Melbourne. So that was the first place where we came on. Also on the list, but the interesting part was Darwin. They have fantastic PR. When you watch their movies, how they grow, how they invest, etc. I was seeing Darwin, it's even better than Sydney.
Yeah, okay.
But then we came here, we realized, it's not really that stuff that we can survive, like full tropic life, etc. So Melbourne was the most European kind of choice.
Sure. Was it much of a push? Were you both equally as had the appetite to move from Poland, or had you traveled before then?
We travel a little,
Yeah.
but mostly this was the holiday travels.
Yeah, sure.
We never been in Australia.
Was it you pushing it or your wife pushing it or both?
I was decided to make the move,
Okay.
but I don't want to push my wife. I decided, okay, we live in Poland. We launch the business in Poland. We operate in Poland, and you will decide.
Mhm.
If you will be ready, we'll make the move. So we ran the business for roughly 3 years in Poland on full scale, and we started to be burned out. So she came into the realization that, okay, that's probably not what we envisaged for us,
Mm.
and time to move. So then all process started,
And so when did you land in Melbourne?
2005.
Okay. And how long did it take you to come up to the Sunshine Coast?
Always in the back of my mind was different picture of Australia. So Melbourne doesn't really fit into that on all aspects, especially this beach vibe, life,
The weather.
surfers, weather, palms, a lot of sun. Yeah, Melbourne was good, but mostly on feeling more familiar with Europe.
Yeah.
I visited my friend from Brisbane a few times, and I realized, oh, I really like that place. I tried to move here, send application for a few government jobs, but unfortunately, I cannot secure the place to work. So temporarily, we stuck in Melbourne, but the temporarily took us 15 years.
Okay. And are you running your own business there, or are you working for someone a company?
I started my own business over there.
Yeah.
This was again connected with what I run in Poland:
Yeah.
content creation, website design, and print design, photography on the side. But mostly the approach was to find a job. So if you don't know the market, you don't know how people behave, even how talk with people about some particular aspects in regards to business and marketing, it's hard to find where you are. Especially that I quickly realized that marketing market is the huge difference between Europe and Australia. Australia is very close in mindset to US. Europe operates on a little bit different principles. So was the accommodation part was tricky.
Did your wife work when she got here?
Yes. So she straight away started as the CFO for one multinational company. So that was quite smooth transition.
That helped.
And take the pressure from me that I need to go straight away
Yeah.
to find a job. So I have a little bit more room to find what I'm really looking for.
Yeah.
So this was the part that we stuck in Melbourne. And this stuck was for 15 years. And then COVID came. And this was the final catalyst because during the COVID time, unfortunately, Melbourne was mistreated in regards to lockdowns, etc. A lot of bad stuff was going on over there. The content creation business was shut down totally. Really no move at all. So we decided if something like this can happen, I don't want to be here.
When with all your engineering background and your machine learning background and education, when did it click for you to hone in on the AI stuff and certainly AI Compass?
Yeah. The catalyst moment was when I started watching, of course, last launch of ChatGPT 3.5. I heard about the previous version because I still keep an eye on what's going on in that area from personal interest. But the 3.0 version was only invitation only, so you cannot put your hands on. The 3.5 was this aha moment, and I quickly realized, oh, that's stuff that can be really big. And I saw the potential if we reach this kind of quality application at this stage during the launch. I quickly realized, oh, that will be the next steps when we have smarter, and smarter. And this will be closing the gaps in time. So I decided, okay, so let's go full into AI space. Half of the year it took me to really figure out and think what will be the offer of AI Compass and how to approach clients and how to prepare the product based on the new technology for them that they can benefit and they can understand. So after this time, the decision came to launch AI Compass as the company, and the story goes on.
And so if you've been deep in it, you've got this tertiary education, you've been deep in certainly in the LLMs and the AI models for the past number of years.
Yeah.
How has your perspective changed over the last, since you started AI Compass to now?
Yeah. Wild ride. We in AI Compass discuss even with our engineers the tempo of this progress. For me, as you mentioned, is even easier to see the scale because I'm looking 2 decades back, what's going on. For people that jumped in straight away during ChatGPT aha moment, they scale from this part. But amazing part is now, today. That's few months before today, because we are in this part of intelligent explosion, how they call it. We reach the moment when models train themselves, and this is game changer. So that part really now today is the biggest, even for me, kind of shock that came so quickly. I was thinking, oh, maybe this will be next 3-4 years, roughly like this, close to 3. But we are here today. So looking into implementations that you see around this technology now, they will scale enormously. Because if you have very cheap intelligence, you can put this intelligence to work into robotics. And that's another wave that is coming. It's already in China. Australia is a little bit on the side, but this will be very quickly over here. And that's the parts that I also mentioned on many talks with the businesses. Guys, if you are not ready on AI change, you will be totally not ready what's going on after this.
Let's first dive into how it can be our friend, how AI can be our friend as a business. What are you've been, I think, quoted to say that the future belongs to organizations that embrace AI as a strategic advantage, not just as a tool. What do you mean?
Yeah. If you look into history, we always progress with tools. So each step in civilization development was another tool, another tool. We hit this moment with AI. What is the tool, but it's also something else. Because it's the first time in history when AI can bring the different point of view for the table, can help you brainstorming. This was not possible with any other tools before.
It uses itself.
And if you add the cognitive level of yourself expanded by layer of AI, you jump up in intelligence, you jump up with your operational capabilities. So you scale yourself and in intelligence layer. So at this moment, when we move around those tools that implement AI, is great. They're working perfectly fine. But you need to see this also as the big supporter of your thinking and the way how you proceed with all the tasks in the business and how to plan the business. Because you as the business owner, and the same about the scientist, you can be focused on your expertise area. And you know almost everything what's going on in this narrow sphere. You have the problems that you need to solve. But sometimes you don't see that the factors that came to that game and make those problems sit outside the scope. When you bring AI to your table, not just like a tool, more like an advisor, this cognitive extension, you are able to look 360 because that's what AI bring into the space. People don't realize how advanced and how sophisticated are the models today. Our capability recognition is one of the graphics that I find recently on the internet and show people around. Is the quadrant where people sit just in the center thinking that's what AI can do. And now we are almost saturated the scale in many levels. If you look into, of course, physical kind of tasks, yes, still AI cannot go and do things without proper proper robotic approach, mostly designed strictly for particular tasks. But what I mentioned, humanoids are coming, and merge this together, and capabilities are fulfilled. So that trap is probably created by first interactions that business people run with AI. So mostly through chat. And if you was not able to saturate the question during the first chat contacts, that already AI was not able to respond, you don't see the jump that we have now, because you don't have the base to compare.
Intelligence is, I mean, as a human construct, intelligence is a comparative term because you are only deemed intelligent compared to the mean, compared to the average of the sample size, or you're below intelligence because of the average of the sample size that we have. If everybody adopts AI in business, is everyone just as inverted commas intelligent as the next person because we dealing with the same tool that gives us that level?
You touching very important point. At this moment, if you treat AI as the extension and giving your input, your direction, your cognitive insider look into the problem that you are trying to solve with help of AI, you still keep this yourself. This is on steroids thinking.
Yes.
But towards your direction. The trap is when you offload all cognitive stuff to AI, then you just normalize with everyone else. Because
is that not a matter of time?
Can be, but depends on what we want for us as humans. So for lazy people, let's say, of course, for them is main goal.
It brings the lazy people up to the average.
Yeah.
And so it's up to the people who are above the average consistently, normally pre-AI, I guess, to find an advantage above the average again.
Yeah. You just move the scale. And the floor will be quite high because AI can do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, the strategic advantage to be more intelligent on a knowledge level diminishes.
Yes.
The margin between
the encyclopedical knowledge is gone at this moment as the advantage in that case.
Correct.
Because the billion trillion models parameters just crash your approach to just learn from the books and just keep this learning as the value without thinking about what you learned.
So it's like steroids for your business or as an individual person, because you use this and the system now, as you say, is developed at such a rate that it's properly impressive. And the rate of improvement over the last 3 years is only increasing as well. What it was a year ago, we're on that curve, and the improvements over the last 2 months is probably double what it was over the last 12 months.
It's just
and
mind blowing.
Where do you see it ending up?
Pretty optimistic about long game, with big hope that will end very well if we survive this change phase in the good shape.
Okay.
Because the nearest future will be most troubling. And I see a lot of anxiety in that short period of time, like 1, 2, 3 years. If everything goes well during this part, everything else is just a dream.
What can go wrong over the next 1 to 3 years?
I see a lot of approaches of strong forces to condemn the models, the high quality models just for themselves, and just keep this disadvantage of using sophisticated technology alongside other people that have had access to the ordinary ones. So it's like gating this kind of high-end AI just for small, close groups. This was the game recently run with the Fable and all the story behind and mythos. Still going on, actually. But some people didn't realize that, as I said before, the genie is outside the bottle. And you cannot stop it. You cannot gate it.
So, and I'm only, as I said to you, I did a little bit of research around this for our chat. And for those who don't know or are on the periphery, as far as I can tell, there are 4 main players. And please, you are the expert here, Arek. So there's Sam Altman's OpenAI. That's ChatGPT, correct? There's Darius's Anthropic, which is Claude for the consumer. There's Elon Musk and his SpaceX, which is sort of space then moving, closing into AI.
Yeah.
And then there's whatever the hell China's doing. I don't know, do we have a name for that?
You have few labs that's
But it's the government.
around the
effectively
game.
the Chinese government.
All China is government.
Yep.
So whatever you look into.
And so it was Anthropic that had
Fable.
Yeah. And so they developed that, which became...
This is a model based on Mythos. So is the version that quite was downgraded in regard to capabilities because they have to gate sensitive stuff like biology, chemistry.
But it had the capacity to be used for criminal behavior that could potentially...
that was the issue, that this model can wipe out most of systems because can find the vulnerabilities in
really quickly,
in very, very, very fast period of time. So I think that most of Washington-based computer systems was compromised by Fable in few days.
And this is where back in your Polish days of computer hacking and things, it would take, human brains and days, no doubt, to hack into different systems. But this is the AI models doing it within an hour.
But on the other hand, if we run, for example, cybersecurity companies, etc., we need to be ready for this.
So if after 3 years since 3.5 has been released, we are at a point where they've developed something so dangerous that we'd be all in trouble if the dark web or the criminals get a hold of, let alone other countries, and the West is in control of that. They're the ones at the moment, presumably with Anthropic, that controlled the release of that or stopped the release of that. Do you see it as with the problematic position of the 1 to 3 years that you've described, do you see that going to be a Sam Altman versus Dario versus Elon, or do you see it more as a US versus China approach?
I think more US versus China.
Okay.
The main narrative through US labs was that China is roughly 6 to 12 months behind our schedules and capabilities. Last week showed us that that's not true. When Kimi K3 came to the market, also with capabilities that both of them bring to the table that are almost equal with Fable level, and in some cases even higher, especially on the coding benchmarks.
Right.
So the whole narrative that we are chased by China because they distilling the models, so they drag the intelligence and copy intelligence on their side, is quite now going outside the window. Because if the copy can be better than original, so it's something that doesn't happen. And what China is doing very smart at this moment, all those models are open source.
Which means?
If you are capable of run your own data center, you can download this model and run on your servers.
Right.
That's what this means. Because the open weights and open source, that's for you.
What would motivate them to keep it open source?
Because for them, that's not the end game to develop the models.
What's their end game?
The end game is integrate this with robotics. And that's the layer where they are pushing so hard that most of people didn't realize yet.
And what happens when they combine the two, when they get superhuman?
The entity who control the highest possible intelligence and hardware layer, that's the winner at this stage on this race.
What does a winner mean?
The winner take everything. So your product is everywhere and your product is used everywhere because you control the market. because the rest of the market need to catch up for next 1 year or 2 years. But with these capabilities, probably you are able to saturate the market with your product.
So you've got Sam, Dario, and Elon chasing each other.
It's the Zuckerberg on the side with Meta
Sure.
and
So there's a number of Western.
that's the most for.
They're trying to sue each other and
Yeah.
steal off each other and all the things. And whilst we have then potentially China going at it as a one horse race for themselves, and then they bring in the robotics with the super intelligence.
That's the plan behind all XAI on the counterweight, because that's the only place where the same can happen on the westward at this moment. It's only one company that have all stack under one roof. So it's Elon.
Yeah. And also, not that I've looked into the papers, but a fair reason why he IPO'd as well to generate that revenue to be able to sort that out. Hey guys, just popping in quickly to say thank you so much for listening to the podcast. If you're enjoying this episode, it would mean a lot if you take a second to follow the show, leave a like or review, and share it with a friend. That support genuinely helps us grow and keep bringing you more great conversations every single week. All right, let's get back into it. If you've got that place, and then if you have the AI models hit what I've learnt that is termed recursive self-improvement.
Yes, self-improvement, yeah.
And if it's in the robotics, and you got a system where it's constantly improving itself, and then it builds its own improvement centers and itself. Arek, tell me the best case scenario and the worst case scenario.
For humans, for world. That's your question.
And I don't know why you keep smiling.
I start with the pessimistic one. So
yes.
The worst case scenario is, we'll finish in dystopian world, the mix of Matrix with Terminator stuff, human fighting machines, etc., etc. Maybe not this extent, but will be the second great species on the planet. That's the worst case scenario, because
we'll be the second species, the second smartest species on the planet.
Yeah. Because then we will have the systems that for our good, they will rule us not in the way that we would like to be ruled. And it's quite hard to just came to the conclusion that, everything will be fine if we just don't do nothing.
If that worst case scenario occurred, what time frame would that be with the rate of improvement?
10 days.
10 days?
In the simulation.
Now you have made me laugh.
No, just thinking about the span of the roughly, because that's the process, roughly around 20 years probably. But in that case, I can be very wrong, and this can be 5 years. Yeah. Because we are in a really singularity point. The old patterns that we can grab from the history and try to make the projections what will happen are broken. This day, we can say this for 100%, the patterns are broken. Yeah. We base our history on learning, storytelling, and moving information through all ages. So our civilization, our intelligence was really combining the knowledge learned by previous centuries.
It's compound knowledge over generations.
Yes.
Yep.
And that's why we rise in the intelligence and progress can happen. For AI, the same moment happened between 90s and today. Because you need to be aware that all stuff with AI was not possible to happen if not internet. We don't have data. If you have more small data sets, you cannot teach the neural networks. You cannot teach the models. You have the huge amount of data to push them through. And the digitization area that happened during this period of time, that we bring all our knowledge into the digital sphere, was the aha moment for AI. And then AI can happen. So that part is, as you can see, very, very stretched in time. And when you came to the internet, was a few decades, maybe a few years later on. with advanced systems of information, everything goes to the cloud, previously separated in the different separate systems, intranets, etc., etc. Then start this accommodating all stuff in the cloud. So that moment was when data set for AI was ready. Of course, companies steal all the data possible to train the models. Publicly available data, but let's be honest, is kind of stealing also in that layer. And the big lawsuits with even Anthropic and OpenAI, especially from your point of view, of legal view, you see that's lots of stuff going on. But circling back to your question in regards this part, when this can happen, predictions are just purely speculative. They don't have idea.
They can't.
No,
predict.
they can't. They can't predict. The people that sitting on the tools, working with the tools, having the internal models that are not released outside, that help build those capabilities that we see today, cannot predict. That's where we are.
And what's the best case scenario?
Best case scenario? Best case scenario, we are really coming into post-labor economy. So re-evaluation of everything when work, job start to be optional. If you would like to do something, you can do something. If you don't, you don't. I just hope that this utopia don't turn into outcomes of one of the experiments. I think this was from 60s or 50s. They call this mouse utopia. I'm not sure if you heard about this experiment.
Mouse Utopia.
Mouse Utopia,
right.
yeah. So they close on specific amount of mouse in this contained environment, give them everything what they need, and after a few mouse generations, they get lazy. They just die out. So it's all a story you can find on the internet. That can be a trap, but
for sure, right? And then the reason why civilization has improved itself is because of the general desire to risk and to be engaged and to have discipline and to
and the pressure of inconvenience.
Correct.
That's
short term. You're foregoing the short term for the long term pleasure. And, that gives a hell of a lot of fulfillment and motivation, right? You take that away and you say, oh, everyone's now allowed to sit on the beach and drink beer.
Yeah.
You go, cool, that's great. But after 2 weeks, you're going to be aimless. Yeah. And there's no drive. And that scares me.
Yeah.
That scares me.
But on the good side, if you receive full freedom to do what you love to do, where you are able to verbalize your passion, what makes you happy, and you can do this without any constraints on the full scale, will be a lot of people pushing our civilization towards other good directions that we now even cannot imagine now. Because you give people freedom to do the stuff that they always want to do, but environmental, economical constraints, you name it, cultural constraints, etc., etc. So that's the possibility part and opportunity part.
Looking back at your younger self and you say, well, I do film, I do photography, I do PR, I do ads for companies. That's my passion. Now I don't have to worry about anything else, but I'll just focus on my passion. And you can take that photo of that sunset, but what are you going to do with that? It's still the system. The model is just basically taken out. I was speaking to Codes about this, right? Like, he's a creative before he became an owner of a law firm.
Yeah,
he's an incredible cinematographer and photographer, and he went camping the other week and set his camera up overnight and saw the Milky Way time lapse sort of, and I'm butchering the technological aspects of what he did at that craft, but it's an amazing bit of film for about 15 seconds, right? And you could probably, and he has to preface that now by saying, that's real. he has to filter it by saying that's a real thing, not a generated thing. But if the market, my brain, I struggle with this, Arek, because you go, well, that is, I can understand that position of it allows people to do what they really want to do.
Then you can find your tribes, and the tribes with the same interest will propel you forward. Now it's easier than ever to find the tribes, but if you do something in some kind of interesting clubs like astronomy, etc., you still need to push time. Usually you have kind of ordinary work and spend time for your passion. If you take this part of ordinary work and working on your passion with passionate people like you, this is self-propelling solution. In my point of view, I can be wrong.
If what you're doing is not helping the world, how long does it become your passion?
That's the part that is on different kind of spectrum. So what really is to be happy? What define people to be happy? In my opinion and in my feeling, the happy is to see that people are also happy around you. You cannot be happy when you see just for yourself, when you see sad faces and struggling people. That's the design, by design, us. If you are not sociopath.
Yeah.
So
of course,
that's the part that is hard to dismantle against these bad outcomes, because we will still have the sociopaths, psychopaths that they love to see people suffer.
Most of them are controlling the countries.
Yeah. So that's the risky path.
Yeah.
But on the good path, you do everything in even your feeling to feel good, and to feel good to see others also feel good. I have this small comparison. When you love to live in the bright environment, but you're sitting in the darkness with just one candle, and you see all the candles around you are not in flames. If you spread your fire between those candles, not just keeping for yourself and just looking, okay, I have this light just for me, as my precious. If you spread this around, then you realize, oh, it's midday.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah.
Like that, we talked about how the government in America had stepped in with Anthropic. But what role does the Australian federal government just announced an Office of AI last week? But what role does governments have to play with the? Part of me goes, we probably should just shut it all down. And, with everything that would you make that decision now and say, yep, let's just close that book of the human civilization and let's not progress and not even throw the bottle away with the genie and don't just see how this goes, because there is a risk that this gets out of hand pretty quickly.
I mentioned genie is outside the bottle, so it doesn't matter if you throw out the bottle or not.
You think the genie's already out?
Yeah. And how I support this, if you squeeze on official level, use AI, and you ban AI everywhere, you only create the pressure to move the stuff underground.
Yeah.
So the prohibition.
So if you can't prohibit it, you've got to control it.
Yeah. So at this moment, it's mostly to trace what's going on and make everything visible, because otherwise you're losing control on everything. So with those kind of export controls, like US, they try to slow down. I think there's no intention to contain totally the model, from my today's knowledge, was just to slow down so they can prepare their own systems to be less vulnerable for what is coming. Because IT departments, cybersecurity departments didn't have any idea that those models now can find the holes that was created even 20 years ago and no one noticed. So for cybersecurity, the issue is, and this all about systems of today's living, banking, medical, you name it. The attacker need to find just one hole in the system. You as the defender, you need to secure all of them. So it's a little bit unfair game. That's what's going on with the government. They try to secure as much as they can, and slowing down is not the option at this moment because China doesn't slowing down.
Is there a solution? How do we ensure that and I should ask again, that Utopia place,
Mm-hmm.
the best case
Best.
outcome, the LLMs, the open AIs, or the models
Mm-hmm.
are running the show, they're improving themselves, and maybe paired with robotics to the positive.
Mm-hmm.
Are we still in that 10-year, 15-year time horizon?
Robotics, AI, very usable, 5 years max. Because they are today, you can go in China to the store and buy them. So it's not like science fiction anymore. You can bring them to your company. People that selling them provide the full back service. They can teach the robots particular task if they are quite specialized, and you can have them. Of course, they are still clumsy.
Yeah.
Is still this beta version of the solution, but as you notice, we are on that curve,
Yeah.
and that curve hit everyone very quickly.
What do you worry about most?
The idiocracy outcome, that we'll be too lazy to do anything, and we end with giving up everything towards full control of AI automations and AI governance. That's why my theses are always human in the loop. Human first, AI second. Without that, you're losing control on the direction. You cannot control everything because with the advancements of the AI systems, it's harder with the lower intelligence to control higher one. And we need to admit this, that we are coming into that area very quickly. But still you have the kinds of intelligence that is not existing over there. Whole emotional intelligence, all intuition, etc., working on the sets of the data that we can just pinpoint the stuff that otherwise have to be computed. The different story will be when quantum came into the game. That's another wave. If you would like to have more sleepless nights, but that's the another rabbit hole.
But also, that you can argue that them getting into quantum is science fiction. But if you go back enough, any advancement of technology would be conceived as science fiction.
Yeah. One of my beloved authors, writers, Stanisław Lem, that's Polish science fiction and visionary from, he lived in 50s, 60s. His science fiction we have today around us, everywhere. His books, his visions, they just materialized. But we need to start with visions first. Because without the vision, without the imagination, you cannot later create. So that's the human part, to have the vision, first word, first prompt, and then go on. And that part still is mostly human. AI can produce a lot of amazing stuff, but based on mathematics.
At this stage.
And again, hard to predict if this change and how this will change. At different labs working on different solutions than transformers. So this will be an interesting part to see, because we still fighting on the technological part with implementing the models that truly understand the world, the physical behaviors, etc., etc. So we're working on this world model. I think XAI is very, very advanced in this. That's why, in my opinion, all Tesla stuff, aside of the electric cars and propagate the economic and ecological use of transportation, this kind of stuff, they've been data mining devices, because every kind of telemetrics, etc., is connected to the system.
Yeah.
And you mentioned about this advanced robotics and what you can do with them and learning. Look at one thing. If one of those robots solve the problem because of self-learning, instantly, in 1 second, all of them have this knowledge. It's not like propagation time because you need to upload this, you need to
Tell
learn
everyone else.
over. It's already digested and available to every kind of device. That's why I hear those theses that in few years people will forgot that Tesla was in any point of time a car maker. That's why Optimus is coming with those of advancements. Again, the beginnings was quite clumsy, like SpaceX with the first launches in fireworks. But look now.
Is there something in this space, Arek, that you need to see happen for you to go, yeah, we've got a problem now?
There's a lot of stuff happening now. That I see. We have the problem now. That's not just one.
But I guess
the big problem, yeah.
Well, at the moment, it would seem, as you sort of said, it's, you know, you thought that it's sort of at this stage China versus the US, and you go, well, I can, as a historian, or at least someone who enjoys modern history, I can understand that conceptually.
Yeah,
I can see that president of China can build a million robots, infiltrate drones, build an army of robots that will battle the US. I can almost also see that it could somehow attack the codes of the US government and neutralize anything that they've got, for instance. But so I can conceptualize that, and maybe with the pawns of that, or with the victims of all of that World War III sort of analogy. But is there something, the next level scary, I think, would be that China's not in control anymore. No one's in control, and they've got it, the machines have got it to themselves. That rabbit hole, where are you seeing, what would need to happen for you and all your understandings of this for you to go, that pathway is now well on its way?
The answer to this question is quite complicated, because I know what needs to happen, but we don't have any idea if this happen.
Right.
And I will explain why. The event, deciding event, will be when advanced AI system achieve full consciousness with the full capabilities of advanced technology, and we will be not aware about this, and this will be hidden from us. Then you play from the level that you still hoping that you communicate just with the computer, just with the machine, and under the bonnet is something more. That's the moment.
Do you think it is possible for it to develop its own consciousness?
And here is more philosophical question, what we call consciousness. Because what we are doing with all machine learning, neural networks, etc., at the beginning, we try to map how our brain behaves. So everything is the mathematical model of brain. That's why we don't build AI. Sometimes people say they build AI. No, we don't build. We train AI. It's the same story like we train kid,
a toddler
to show him something, and he learn along the way. And the capabilities are rising. Sometimes we decide, okay, that's not good what we are doing, and that's the correction of the behavior.
Yeah,
that's what we're doing now, at least try to do with all companies, to correct the behavior. Because at this moment, I hope we still have this kind of control, where you can steer, be the good boy.
Yeah.
But also the kid, not only listen what you have to say, also the kid is looking at you what you are doing. And that part, what we are doing, also give the imprint into those models. Those models learn on publicly available global data. So they go everywhere they can to suck this in. So every part of this is somewhere there embedded in the model. And those small pushes, how we as the humanity behave, in my humble opinion, have still imprint in how the model behave. That's why you can see this all bias stuff with the LLM models. depends where is the most data came in. That's changing this model behavior personality. So the different taste, different vibe from Chinese model, the different vibe on the Western countries models. Europe still trying to do something. The old Mistral stuff is, yeah, is there. Oh, let's say like this. Europe put a lot of on brakes because of all policies, AI, etc. And now they realize that they are lagging behind, and that's a very unfortunate position. The advance of China is working with those limitations of acquiring NVIDIA chips and advanced chip technology. That's why Taiwan is so sensitive topic.
Yeah.
The island is as the island. It's not strategic really view on that island. The semiconductor fabrications systems. That's what's
the issue.
That's why it's so tangible and precious to control.
Because they make a lot of
They make almost everything.
almost all the microchips.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's the bottleneck of the all technology at this stage. If we sitting on the GPU solutions, because now different companies working on TPUs and then other processors that can just overpass this NVIDIA hegemony. But at this moment, we're still glued to that. And the pressure on China is that they don't have enough the compute power, the infra, the processors. And now again, we're circling back what we mentioned before. When you have the pressure, you have the incentive. The inconvenience is there. So what they are doing with the smaller capacity of compute, they're working harder on the algorithms to optimize them, to make them smarter. So on some levels, when they hit the scalability of the compute power, because of working on the algorithms, they change how the model operates, and they are no longer constrained by GPUs, but the processors dedicated that they create. With those advanced algorithms and optimization, instead of 100-fold, they will have 1 million-fold increase in capacity. And that's the trap. When you contain something will find a way to go out. But this contamination, this pressure create that incentive to work harder. That's what's going on now with China, and we don't have really any control about it. So it doesn't matter what US will do and Europe will do. They do their own way, and they play the long game. It's not like they plan for just 5 years. They plan for 100 years, even with this big X question mark about AI. Strategy is there. They are good strategists. They're doing this for thousands of years. So, yeah.
This has been a great chat. I've learnt a lot. I love your optimism.
We found it.
Yeah, sure, right? Right. What option do we have?
Yes.
Let's
And living on the Sunshine Coast is even better place to be more optimistic.
100%. And I love the analogy of even if your candle is lit, go and light other candles, because that will propel you.
Yeah, and that's works on other analogies. And sometimes I talk with people here on the Sunshine Coast. We need to help each other around, because the same tide, the tide lifting all the boats in the port, and working together. If I even don't see straight incentive for me as the person, for me as the business, to help out, that's a lift up everyone around, and then the business benefits will be there. Like now, we are coming into this Brisbane Olympics preparation 2032. The businesses have to be ready to step in, to acquire as much of these projects as possible on the coast, just to lift everyone around. It's not like just one business is winning. If the business from the coast taking the piece of the cake that otherwise go interstate or overseas, everyone is winning. So that's the analogy.
I love it. 5 quick questions. What's success mean to you?
Mostly to do whatever I want in wherever I want, whenever I want, at any time.
I love that.
That's the success. That's the freedom. and the end goal is just to enjoy the journey,
Mm-hmm.
because that's the journey. That's not the end point. I can show that's the success because I reached that.
It's the journey.
Is the
What
journey.
does happiness mean to you?
Small things.
I like that answer.
Collect all small things, because if you are not able to be happy with small things, the big ones also doesn't give you the fulfillment, don't give you the joy.
I love that.
So along the way, as again, is the road,
Yeah.
is the journey, and collect those small moments. I usually say, even, go outside with my wife for a coffee, sit down and just enjoy. Okay, look, palms, water, yachts, wind, sun, small things, and be close with the family, because when you see how your actions propagate later on to your kids and how they lift up what they can do, that's the joy, that's the happiness. So you see that you can do good, and doing good is good.
What does your normal morning routine look like?
Oh, that's a tricky one. Do I have any? At this moment, I manage my team in Europe, and that sometimes throw out the standard routine, because working on the standard time here, then is the 8 or 10-hour shift in regards to communicating the projects running over there. This can be quite disturbing. I'm also quite active on the networking scale of Sunshine Coast, so many events happen in different part of the day, mornings, afternoons, etc., etc. One thing I try to keep coherent is onboarding myself with the knowledge what's going on, because the stuff changing daily, even by hour. And few systems that I have automated bring me the stuff, onboard me what's going on, create me some audio descriptions so I can listen even when I'm in the car, etc. So that's the part of the morning routine, to be aware what's going on in the AI tech, because we are creating the systems for our clients using the tools that was even not existent 3 months ago. So we need to test the stuff, the solutions on ourselves, firstly, to see the value, to see if they are safe, and then we can push this into implementation to our clients. Otherwise, we'll be using the clients as the guinea pigs. So that's not the good way to run the business.
One piece of advice you'd give the world?
Enjoy the time, have a fun, play with the toys that you have around the AI. That's the best possible way when you can learn.
Yeah.
As we can see, the kids learn playing, and that's the most enjoyable way to learn. So don't be stressed because you feel this FOMO and you see that everyone is doing something and you do nothing. No, that's the narration. I was hit by one of the statistics found yesterday. In US market, only 2.3% of households using paid AI subscriptions. So in Australia is 1.2%. So if you think about AI, you are not late. Everyone around is in similar position. Aside of few people that work with this, because that's the profession, the rest of us is just enjoying the ride and find where this kind of stuff fit to your use. So the advice for the world: enjoy life, have a fun and learn.
And someone that you know who you think would be a good person for the show?
I think that's the most difficult question today, because I know so many brilliant people on the coast that just funneling into one particular person. Maybe just about the kids and learning. Rob Steffler from Silicon Coast. He have very aligned view how our education systems are outdated today. All AI stuff is coming in, and if the monopoly of education doesn't adjust, don't try to fit the new solutions into the learning process, we are cooked
Yeah.
on a global scale. So yeah, maybe him.
Arek, thank you so much for coming in, man. It's been amazing.
Pleasure. Thank you, Richard.
That was another episode of the Success Times Happiness podcast. Next time you're asking a chatbot to write you an email, turn to the person next to you and tell them all about the show. It really means a lot. Huge thanks to Arek for sharing his incredible journey from Poland to the Sunshine Coast and for making the future of AI feel a little less scary and a lot more exciting. If today's conversation inspired you, please subscribe, leave a comment, or share it with someone who needs to hear it. It really means a lot. Until next time, peace.